those conversations, now we can be included at the table, and it's not a battle. You know what I'm saying? Amongst who right and who wrong, but trying to figure out a solution. How can we move forward in a better light, in a better space, in a higher space with one another? You know, help me help you, and I'm gonna do the same. And the main thing that we love to talk about is accountability. Not only waiting on people to hold you accountable too, but holding your damn self accountable as well. And just as quick as somebody try to do it, taking it and understand that it's not to take away from you, it's to make you better. It's to make you greater. You don't want to be greater. Do you not want to be better? Because if it ain't hurting you, then what's the problem? So anyway, anybody else got, I want to play the video again. Look, you feel like playing the video again one more time, please, for us?
While you're setting that up, I just want to say, I was asking myself, why can't I get up and do things that I used to do like I used to do before I got married? And when I asked my higher self said, you aren't disciplined enough. And I was like, what? I'm not disciplined enough? And I was like, what do you mean? And I had to really look at that. And one of the first things you guys started this morning was you said there was a word you guys used, and that was the exact word that I was told. But anyways, I can't remember what the word was. But yeah, I have to hold myself. It was like my higher self was telling me I have to hold myself accountable. And I'm always like, who's gonna hold me accountable? I have to hold myself accountable.
Yeah, and it takes discipline. It really does. It takes this. You got to build the muscle to look at yourself and keep it real with yourself. Right? We're gonna watch the video real quick. We're gonna get back into it.
You just said that your woman, she's a queen to you, and essentially you kind of alluded to the reason that she was a black queen to you was because she was gentle.
That's not what I said.
That's not what you said.
No, I said what
Explain,
I was
again.
trying to say. She's held me accountable.
Held you accountable.
And forced me, man.
You didn't not for you in a soft way that made you able to do it.
Because I'm about to walk the fuck out of here.
We right here with you.
Okay, but I'm saying, in order for us to trust, if this is about fucking trusting black women, then you gotta be able to let your woman hold you accountable when you do patriarchal shit.
You agree?
Right.
And when you come from the streets, that's almost impossible. The main theme is trusting black women, but how do we get ourselves as men fixed to be able to love them the way they need to be loved?
Well, that's the beauty of this conversation, because we are currently right now, harmoniously trying to lay this one brick to create more foundation that we can build on to be able to have a place of trust that black women feel like they can come into this space with us, that we will listen and we will sit
and
here
be gentle
and be gentle with ourselves, that we don't understand, that I don't understand what's being said, and I think somebody's hearing me wrong, somebody's saying wrong, somebody's talking over me, something's happening to me. These are all things that don't allow women to come and open up to us, because we are ready to play football every goddamn time.
He was also trying to tell him what he said too. It wasn't just him talking over him. Let the man say what let him talk. You know, let him say what he has to say, because he wasn't saying it to where it was resonating with him. So go on, let him speak his truth and tell his story. That's all.
That happens a lot when guys are trying to talk. Other guys will do that to each other.
And I don't think he meant no harm. Like, he was trying to back him up in his own understanding.
Right.
So like,
But it's something about that triggers a man when they're trying to talk and another man won't let him finish talking. Even on this space, we see it all the time.
Look. Oh, my bad. And look what one more time, y'all. Just look how Rojo spoke to me off the strength of Crystal and Exalted. She spoke very calm, cool, and collected as a woman. She is great. Nave, you blah, 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 you should have that. And I'm in my place, and I submitted, and I say, you know what, you was right. I am wrong. I need to figure that out, because she came as a woman. She came correct. I'm not embarrassed. BZ said softness is that blah blah blah, right? I'm not embarrassed. Fix me, help me. And she did it straight correct. You know what I mean? So she didn't come correct. I mean, aggressive. She came as a woman. But other cats would look like, damn, she told you. Yes, she did tell me. It's a time
Yep.
where you got to submit. You know what I mean? And you got to hush up when you wrong. You know what I mean?
Yep. It's
So,
up to you to
We should
accept
say,
the
yep,
accountability that
we
people
should
try
say
to hold
devote.
you to. You don't have to. You could choose not
yeah.
to accept
Men,
that shit.
Look,
men
It's a
submit, men
choice.
submit too. You know what I mean?
and
They just, you
nigga,
got to know your, yep, go ahead, big dog.
I was gonna
My
say we
bad.
should, and what I would like to say is devote. You know what I'm saying? To devote, not submit, but devote, because devote means you willfully came down to the understanding, and you're still in your
What's
voice,
up,
because you
lady?
know
What's
submit
up,
means
Miss DJ? What's up,
you
Papa?
lost your voice, you gave your voice up. So we're not telling you to give your voice up. What we're saying is
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
give the ability to give, your heart opening your heart and being able to
Yeah.
receive it out of your will. So
Right.
that's even stronger, because you're not. Yeah.
Okay, okay, okay. Appreciate it. Okay.
Devotion do sound a lot better anyway.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Hell yeah.
It has a bad reputation. Submission does have a bad reputation.
Well, and the reason why I brought it up though,
Hell yeah.
because
Well
the thing
said.
is
Well said.
conditioning though. It's the conditioning though. That since we're talking about breaking conditioning, we should definitely break the conditioning. You know, a lot of men definitely hate to hear the word submit. You know what I'm saying? But they don't even know there's another word you can use, which is devote though. They don't know that though. They just run from submit, but they don't understand that you could devote yourself. And that's the problem that I want to push, is that devote is really powerful and it's actually strong, not soft. See what
I
I'm
mean,
saying?
hey,
So
can you stand correct in front of a woman, right? You know what I mean? So like I said, you know,
mhm,
sometimes that shit
mhm.
gets to a dude, you know what I mean? And definitely when people listening and looking, you know what I mean? So
Okay.
you people say it's growing, but that's muscle that's strong, you know what I mean? I place things to the side so I can understand. I want to get better and better and better. Because my time comes when I get on people, right? But today was my day. Hey, nigga, you was wrong. And I'm like, that's why I fuck with y'all. You know what I mean? We only know yes,
Mhm.
mans and kissing ass around here, this and that. Hey, hey, bro, sound like a hypocrite. Say less.
Right.
You know what I mean? Shout out to y'all.
That's what's
He
up.
said,
Love it.
but people don't understand his power in submission.
Right. I was gonna
Go
say.
ahead, Looky, step
Yeah.
in. Respond to that. Where
Yeah,
you at?
we could debate that
No,
for sure.
definitely both men and women have to submit to each other. You know what I'm saying? Yes, you are powerful. Yes, I am powerful. But sometimes I need to let you lead, and sometimes you need to let me lead. Even if I can lead all the time or you can lead all the time, that's how I'm looking at it. You know what I'm saying? I am giving you my power or letting you lead me. I'm not going to like overpower you. You know, like
What's
if
that
this is
thing
the
we
way
sit
that you
on
want it.
and we bounce up and down and you got one person got to kick their feet up first. What's that called? That's what I
The
was just thinking
seesaw?
about when we was talking. Yes, the seesaw. In order to keep it going, you probably got to do some work as you kicking up. But in order for you to enjoy the weed part, you know, the other person got to kick their feet up and put some strength into it, and then you take turns just like that.
Right.
And this-
Like
and that's
it's an equal footing thing.
so, because
Thank you like that.
I said, devote means, you willingly giving your time, energy, heart, or loyalty to something or someone. It's chosen, it's intentional, it comes from love, passion, or purpose. Submit, it can be voluntary, or it can come from a pressure, fear, authority, or control. And that's why I'm saying we have to really, like, 'cause you yield, surrender. But sometimes, men will feel like that being a fear or authority, or some kind of control if they have to so-called submit. But like you said, the vote is literally yield. It's literally, you're doing it by you're willing to give your time. So that means you're proving
that you're doing out of love, understanding. You're doing it because you want to be better, not just out of a form of control or a fear that's being pushed upon you that you're going to lose something. See what I'm saying? So, I mean, yes, I feel like devoting both, if you both devote to each other, that's the best thing you could do because you're both willingly giving yourself and your time and your heart and your energy to prove, loyalty. So, you know what I'm saying? That's all I wanted to say. And the example is I devote myself to growth, you know. And then, like, for example, he submitted to the rules. You know what I'm saying? So there's two different parts of that. But go ahead, y'all.
What's up, Fontaine? When submitting, appreciate that. When submitting, you step to the side and submit to elevate. Okay? And Energy said that's my new word.
Yeah, I like
All right.
submit.
Baron says submission is letting go. We already read that. Scoot said it builds your own power and positivity reinforces your partner. Okay. Good shit. God body, go ahead.
So what we're doing now is giving definitions of what we think submit is.
If you want to add
Giving
to the
examples.
conversation, sure.
Okay. So submit to me, is quite different than the average common ordinary people that say what submit is. To me is looking at the individual, whether it's a woman or a man, and actually can acknowledge, see the person, who they are, what they bring to the table, what they represent. So if you submit to a woman or a woman submits to a man, it has nothing to do with bowing down your nature. It
What's
has
up, Big
nothing
Energy?
to do. Uh, it has nothing to do with obeying or not obeying. What it has something to do with is when a man looks at a woman and when he sees her wholeness and who she is, her divinity, her womanhood, what she brings to this universe, right? And you honor that and respect that and want that to be a part of your world, your life, that's submitting. And when a woman does that to a man, when she looks at this man with a good lens and see both parties got to have a good lens, and you look upon this man and say, this man brings this to the world, to the universe. I see that and I honor that and I want that to be a part of me, of my thought process and what I got going on. To me, after studying universal law, natural law, and living this, I find that is a better understanding, interpretation, and definition of what it means to submit is to honor and respect each other. Thank you.
Thank you for that, God body. Appreciate your insight and wisdom.
Yeah. I just
Anybody else? I do have a lesson. I
look-
love the organic free flow though, because that's teaching me how to, hold a topic for a little bit longer. I'm trying to strengthen myself in some areas. But I do have my lesson, and we're gonna get into that too after we get done organically cooking. Just for a little structure and to bring some points home.
Go ahead and
So go
start
ahead,
the lesson.
Easy.
No, I said go ahead and start the
You're doing
lesson.
great,
Start the time.
Exalted. I just want
Start
you to
the
know
time.
you are doing great.
Thank you, Rojo. I appreciate it. I appreciate the support. Thank y'all. It's been a minute since I didn't cook, so I'm just getting warmed up. Trust me, this is what I do. I've been doing this since I got on the platform. If y'all don't know me, because I know a lot of y'all don't know, I didn't do a good job of introducing myself, but I'm Exalted Love. And I first got on here out of depression, out of grieving. I was grieving both of my brothers on my mama's side. And I told myself, and I gave up. Well, I didn't give up on my gifts, but I was no longer offering it to the collective. And part of my purpose is cross of service. So serving and doing for others and helping other people out, guiding, whatever it is, it don't matter what the role is, as long as I'm helping, is a part of my purpose. And so not doing that for so long made me get up here and kind of put myself out there and bring these lessons And at one point, it was just me and the bot sitting in the room. And as time went by, you know, we just started growing. And everybody else was doing the same thing. And look at us coming together with all of that energy in this space. So that's just a little bit of who I am. If y'all don't know, I am a level 2 Reiki practitioner. So when I got on the app, I also was trying to get back in my gifts, in my bag, in my offerings, because I know that's what part of what I've come to do, right? What's up, Genesis? Thank you, thank you. Anybody else before we get into the lesson? I know we're gonna cook. I know I'm gonna say some shit
I didn't cook.
that, yeah, within this lesson. So let's go and get into it. Let's go and get into it. So, and if y'all help me if I'm not paying enough attention to my phone, because I've always been terrible at this. I got my lesson right here, so I'm over here, but I'm gonna be looking back and forth. So, the topic of this conversation for Wellness Wednesday is going to be from survival kingdom to sacred union. We're going to talk about how we got here and how we about to get the fuck about this shit, right? So we're not just dealing with communication issues. We're dealing with historical conditioning, generational survival coding, and unhealed nervous systems, as Lookie loves to say and then taught us, trying to experience intimacy. If we don't understand how we got here, what's going to happen is we're going to keep blaming each other for wounds that we've inherited. And we already done touched on this. This ain't something that we don't already have the common sense to know. But we're going to break it down fully as we go. So let's go all the way back to how we got here. We're going to talk a little bit. I'm going to put a little bit of this and that into the lesson just to bring it all together, to make some sense of things, just so we can be reminded that every little thing had a hand in every little thing, right? And it all comes together to shape our experiences and the things that we tired of, and even the things that we fucking love, because life is just not all about the shit, right? It's some good shit up in it too. Some of this shit we can't do nothing with. Some of this shit we could build a whole garden. It just depends on what's in the, what's in the soil, right? What's the ingredients? So how we got here? Slavery and survival bonding. I know this is the subject we don't really like to talk about, but it did play a hand in our history, especially us as brown people. And during American chattel slavery, one thing about it was that Black men were stripped of legal authority, physical autonomy, protective capacity, family leadership roles. And around that time, Black women were forced into labor, sexual exploitation, emotional endurance, right? This is where the capacity of love don't have no fucking cap damn near. It don't matter if you exhausted. It don't matter if it's tearing you apart on the inside. It don't matter. Motherhood was under terror. And one thing about it was that masculinity was criminalized. Femininity was weaponized. What? That shit is sick. Just thinking about it. Masculinity being criminalized, femininity being weaponized. Get me the fuck up out of here. And in the midst of this, what happened? Families were destabilized by this design. We already know this. Love was not protected. Survival was prioritized. And some of us are still living in the vibration of something like that. It might not be the same thing. Slavery might not be the subject, not the physical chains maybe, but some of us are enslaved in our spirit, in our minds, in our hearts, and other things that actually mean something, that mean a lot more than all that other shit. That holds a lot more weight and depth to the soul. So when the thing about it is, when your lineage has to, what's up, goddess, has had to survive systematic emasculation, and dehumanization, what gets passed down is not softness. It's not softness. How could that be birthed from that? Any softness was pretend. We were faking it. We were acting, right? Because there was consequences to not going along with the shit, was it not? We learned vigilance, not softness. Another point that I want to bring up in the subject with the video that we watched and just the table talk that we brought here today is post-emancipation and policing of Black masculinity or brown masculinity. I like to call us brown, but whenever, you know, AI like to call us Black. After slavery, systems like Black codes and later mass incarcerations reinforce a message. Black male authority is dangerous. At the same time, Black women were forced into workforce roles while still carrying domestic labor. This created tension. Men fighting to reclaim power in a system that was denying the fuck out of it and didn't want them to have no parts to do with reclaiming nothing that had to do with no power. Not if they didn't have a hand in it. Women forced into resilience without rest, but gotta be resilient. Got to, because like I said earlier, there's consequences to not. And when external power is blocked, internal power struggles increase. Let me say that again. When external power is blocked, internal power struggles increase. It's not going nowhere. It's not going nowhere. Because somebody outside of you is controlling the narrative. You the star in your own world and story, but somehow you ain't got the will. So all of this tension get to enter in our dynamics, our relationships, in our intimate settings and sacred settings within our household, within our communities. And another point that I want to bring up is the hood as a survival kingdom. Let's fast forward a little bit, because in many urban communities, it shaped redlining, economic abandonment, and over-policing. So what was happening was emotional expression becomes weakness. Hypermasculinity becomes armor, right? Independence becomes safety. And dominance becomes control. What's up, Bells? What's up, Bells? How are you? The hood did not create broken people. Let's be clear. Thank you. Thank you, love. It created adaptive ones, right? We've learned to turn that shit into flowers. We are those resilient motherfuckers. I mean, if I do say so myself. What's up, Mr. Lover? That is us. We're not gonna let nothing tear us down and break us down. Our spirits are too strong. We too mighty. We too great. We might got these little human bodies, but some of us feel like been feeling like giants since we got up in this motherfucker. Right? Soul just always felt bigger than the body. So at the end of the day, we became adaptive, but adaptation for war does not translate to partnership. You know what I'm saying? It was almost too much shit for us to try to turn it into something, even though we did, right? It was too much shit for us to try to turn it into flowers, but we still did. Because we make do with the hand that that's dealt to us, do we not? That's what we do. That's how we are as a people. We take our L's, we take our W's too. And we just keep it pushing. That's resilience. We don't let nothing break us. That's resilience. You know, Even trying to make something that we know ain't shit into something else is crazy. We know we too magical. We too powerful. That's how we thought that we can do that. But as you can see, the trickle effect of some of these systems are still affecting us to this day. How many motherfucking generations is it gonna take out? That's my question. Because I know most of us in the room been knew that the torch was on us for a long time now, even before it was in our hand, right? And there were certain initiations we had to go through when wasn't nobody to fuck around. And wasn't nobody around to get it, and we was trying to explain. So we didn't feel like we was losing our shit. Because some of our purposes are just that great. And yes, it is something to overthink about. Yes, it is something to obsess about. Yes, it's something to talk to the collective about. Because when you're getting downloads and you know you connected, you know you're making sense of some things, that don't mean that you always 100% right. But our gifts and our wisdom it's not just for us. It's just a puzzle piece to the greater picture. And if you look at it as in everybody got one, whether they realize it or not, you could have as many pieces on the board. As long as other people are holding the pieces, then we waiting on them to bring the full picture together. We might have an idea. We might be intuitive. Oh, I know what that is. That's a cow. Gotta be. Or that's a this. That's a butterfly. But the whole left wing, how you know it's not half a butterfly? If we can't see the whole other wing, it might be half of something else. We don't even know. I'm just making up shit, but y'all get where I'm going. We don't even know. So we got to make sure everybody doing their part in the corners of their spaces so that we can see what's on their puzzle piece. Okay, hold on. Let me see what you got. Okay, yeah, you go right here. Right there. And the thing about that puzzle is that you notice that everybody not going to touch directly. Y'all know that, right? Everybody don't touch directly, but somebody is holding on to somebody. Some piece is fitting with some piece to bring it all together. And when we do that in spaces like we doing now, this is what causes the ripple effect of healing. With our intention, with our hearts open, with our ability to take accountability and talk and embody, not just talk, but embody solutions. That means when an opportunity presents itself for you to do better, what do? You do better. You just do. That's what you do with your power of choice.